And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rollsicle. My name's Nathaniel, one of the hosts here at the channel. I am joined off screen by my lovely co-host Ashley. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
She's working on school stuff, but we are here. We're still making content. We've been a little laxed on some of the dedicated content. We're trying to make sure we get more on these videos for you guys. And one of the big things that came out was, of course, the Game Awards. Lots of announcements on there. We pride ourselves on being nerds, and we like sharing our hobbies with you guys. One of those big hobbies is gaming, so we kind of have to cover like the second biggest announcements in gamings every year. I think the biggest would probably be Summer Games Fest. So we pulled up an article. We watched it live. It was pretty cool. I won't lie. Like, it was a fun night. Kind of like our version of like watching the Oscars, I guess, if you will. Like, I don't watch a ton of, that's movies, right? I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
Oscars is movies.
Emmys is shows.
Emmys
Oscars
is show.
is movies.
Oscars is movies. What's the music one?
The Grammys. I love the Grammys.
Grammys is music, and then there's one for.
We will be streaming the Grammys somehow.
There's one for what's it called too, like stage productions, right? I'm not going crazy. I just don't remember the name of it.
The Tonys.
Tonys. So there you go. You got them all, right? And so Game Awards is basically that for video games. It's super exciting. Lots of big announcements and stuff, which they don't really do as much with like the Oscars. They don't do a ton of announcing and stuff like that. But Game Awards definitely does. And so while, yes, we could sit here and we could go on about how Expedition 33 won everything, we also haven't played that game and can't really comment on whether or not it was deserving. I'm sure it was in a lot of ways. But I do want to comment on all of the wonderful announcements we got. Because it's, I mean, obviously there will be surprises, but a huge part of 2026 and probably beyond has already been told to us, like, what we're getting. So it's time to get excited, which makes sense. We're at the end of 2025, so let's jump into everything we've got here. Before we get into the article, quickly want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. If you haven't joined the channel by subscribing, commenting, leaving a like, all of it is greatly appreciated. And we are on the march to 300 subscribers. At time of recording, we are at 297. Maybe. I was told earlier we're at 297. And yeah, so thank you guys for all the love and support. All right, moving on. Here we go. The Game Awards. This is from IGN, you know, the big publisher themselves. Everything that was announced. So the Game Awards just happened. Exciting look, yada yada. We're basically just going to read the headlines here because you guys could go on and read this whole article, but I don't feel like I have the time to do that. So we started out early on. We got a big announcement, big trailer. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, a.k.a. FOTOR, which doesn't sound as good as KOTOR, but it is what it is. Not much here. We basically just got like a silhouette of somebody walking into like a base, and then we got the lightsaber. We didn't even see the lightsaber. It just, you know, clicked on with what you can see here. But it's exciting. It's obviously going to take place during the Old Republic, so it's really a callback, and of course the name is clearly a callback to Knights of the Old Republic, and it's going to be from the same dude that made Knights of the Old Republic, Casey Hudson. So there's been a lot of rumors going around about this one being way down the line because the studio was formed this year. Casey has come out and said, hey, don't expect it to be 2030. I'm not getting any younger over here, which is really great to hear. But also, I would be skeptical of this game coming out anywhere less than 3 to 4 years from when the studio was formed. So don't expect this probably on this generation of consoles. I really do think it'll be a PlayStation 6 game. But it is what it is. I could be mistaken. We could see it 2 years from now. That'd be great. But I expect we'll probably see it, 28, 29? So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while for that one. But that's okay. All right, so then, of course, Clear Obscure wins a bunch of awards for the night. But they do announce that there is a DLC being released for their game. Don't know how hyped that is. Again, haven't played the game, but I know they talked about a DLC earlier in the year. It didn't drop, so they did say, hey, go play it. It's out now. So that's super duper cool. All right, moving on from that, we did finally find out what that statue was all about. And if you guys have not seen this trailer for Divinity, that's right, it's not confirmed to be Divinity Original Sin 3. And I actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's been a lot of Twitter talk, or X, is that what it's called now? X talk, that there's not going to be a Divinity Original Sin 3, and it's just another game set in the Divinity universe, but it's just called Divinity. In my brain, that's just going to be Divinity Original Sin 3, right? Like, we're all going to refer to this probably as DOS 3. Like, it's going to be the third game. But super interesting, vulgar, intense trailer. I don't know what else you would expect from Larian Studios. This did pretty much get spoiled beforehand. We kind of knew that that's what the statue was going to be. But all things considered, Super exciting. It looks really good. It's obviously very much adult rated, so do not show this to your children. But if you're into those types of games, you're into what Larian Studios does. They have rumored this game to be the biggest, baddest game that they have coming. And we'll see if that's the case, but to be talking already about a game bigger and bolder and with more scope than Baldur's Gate 3 is quite the statement, considering that swept the Game Awards 2 years ago, and it wasn't even close because of how big and bold and broad that game was. So definitely was an awesome trailer, though. Moving on past that, we did get more looks into Res 9, which makes sense. Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil Requiem is coming February. I had to look down and read it. It's right there. Is coming in February, so we expected to see more of it. And yes, we did get confirmation that Leon is returning. I have not played the Resident Evil games. I know I definitely need to. Resident Evil 4 Remake is at the very least on the top of like my list to play because so many people have hyped it up. And it's a little more action-y, so as a not super big fan of horror, I can feel like maybe I can actually get behind that title a little bit more. But I know Leon stars in that, and I'm super excited to see that they're going to be bringing that to this game. I'm also very excited because they have two protagonists for this game, and they want the game to incorporate both the action-y side of Resident Evil and the suspenseful, you have basically no power and you're just basically guaranteed dead unless you sneak around, suspenseful horror side of Resident Evil. And instead of creating like a narrative hiccup where the same character is going through both of those situations, each protagonist is going to take on one of those roles. So Leon's going to be the more action adventure character, while I think it's like his sister or something like that. But the female character, I don't remember her name either, probably Grace, according to this article, is going to be the one that is, of course, more of the suspenseful horror. So very exciting to see that they chose to make that more narratively appropriate. All right, moving on, we got some Tomb Raider announcements. They really, if you watch the Game Awards, they talk about Tomb Raider the whole time. It's like they felt like Tomb Raider was one of their biggest announcements because they were just the entire pre-show, like, we've got something Tomb Raider coming for you. And then after the pre-show, it was like, just wait until the Tomb Raider announcement. And it's like, okay, great, give us the Tomb Raider announcement. And we did get it. We have two things coming Tomb Raider. In 2027, we'll be getting the next Tomb Raider iteration, whatever that's going to look like. We basically just got a cinematic trailer, and it's called Tomb Raider Catalyst. So we'll see what that is. We basically saw her, like, on a growing mountain, like, jagged piece. I don't know how to describe it, but it wasn't anything crazy. But then we saw a trailer for a reimagining of the original Tomb Raider game, which will be coming out next year. So super excited to get Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which, as somebody who's never played a Tomb Raider game, I've been told I need to play the, like, second trilogy. And I will probably get around to that at some point, but I am super excited to see a reimagining of the first one, because the first games are not something I'm planning to really ever get around to. I mean, I might play the remasters of them, but even they definitely still look and feel pretty rough, I'm sure, because they are harkening back to, they are just a remaster. But a reimagining looks really cool, and I'm excited to see it. I will say, I've always heard that Tomb Raider is basically just like female Uncharted, and Uncharted is basically just male Tomb Raider, and I'm seeing a lot of that. I will say the Lara Croft is far more overly sexualized than I ever realized, so that definitely kind of like draws from the game for me. I mean, Nathan Drake obviously is a very handsome, like, strong man, but I don't think they lean into it too much. They definitely focus a little more on like the mystery and the story. So I do hope Tomb Raider still does that and isn't quite just like, oh, look at Lara Croft Simulator, because that doesn't sound very fun. All right, moving on. We did get a Control sequel announced, which is super exciting. This one seems to be kind of like melee focused. I feel like I am a broken record over here, but I have not played Control. I have heard a lot about it, and I know that it's Remedy, right? Yeah, Remedy does a lot of really great things. They do a lot of really wild things, and this game, based on this trailer, looks like it's going to be exactly that. Super excited. We've got her younger brother here as the protagonist. He was using like a melee weapon in the trailer, so it looks super sick. I won't lie. I'm definitely going to have to try Control before this comes out, or at least before I would play this, and then give this a shot. So, especially if it reviews well. We did know that Returnal is getting a successor in Saros, is how I'm gonna pronounce it. So it got a new trailer, and it of course did get a release date. This looks super sick. Returnal looks super cool. I've had it on the backlog for a while. I am in love with roguelites and action bullet hell games, so it kind of sounds like the perfect game for me. Just haven't gotten around to it, but I'll definitely be playing it probably pretty soon and then be super excited that its sequel is going to be right on behind it. I have been told that Returnal is a roguelike that actually has a pretty good story baked into it, so I'm really excited to see where they go with the successor. The gameplay looks great. The trailer looks really, really good. And it looks like April 30th, right? So we've got, 4 months here, 4.5 months to figure that one out. We got Super Mario Galaxy movie got a whopping 30 seconds of new footage. Whoa, yeah. I mean, it did show Luigi, right? But that's not... Okay, cool. If you're into the Super Mario Galaxy movie, I think you're probably still disappointed in what you got. That felt like a bait and switch almost. Like, it was just lackluster what they showed you. They did hype up a massive return to a franchise. Everyone's excited for it. Everybody's thinking it's Half-Life 3. Some people are thinking we're going back to New Vegas for Fallout. And, of course, it's Mega Man. So nobody was that excited for it. I do think that Mega Man obviously has a lot of reasons to draw excitement. And I am excited for it. I had a friend growing up that played a lot of Mega Man games. So there's some, osmosis excitement that I got from him about Mega Man when I was growing up. But it definitely doesn't hit like any of those would have. So I definitely think they fell a little flat there with that announcement. But we do have some Mega Man coming, so, it is what it is. Then we got another look at Game of the Year 2026. I don't care if you call it GTA 6 because I'm calling it Lego Batman. Okay, Legacy of the Dark Knight. I am so hyped for this game. I am so hyped for this game, y'all. I have to look at Ashley because I'm so hyped for this game. I am so hyped for this game. It looks so good. I have played. It was a while ago. But I played, Arkham Knight. I need to play the first two before it again, Asylum and City, because I don't think I finished those. And I'm older now to actually appreciate those games, because I think I just kind of slogged through them very quickly to get to Arkham Knight. But those games were so good, and then you have the follow-up to them being Suicide Squad, and it just did not do what anybody wanted it to be. And it wasn't what anybody wanted it to be. And to think that that legacy is being followed up by a Lego game is both, baffling and also awesome. I'm so excited for this. It looks like it's going to be great. The voice acting is a little off. I'll tell you this much. Batman's voice is not deep enough, and I will die on that hill. It is not deep enough. But other than his voice being off, this game looks great. The city looks great. The gameplay looks fun. The open world looks exciting. I'm a little hesitant at the $70 price tag. I won't lie. So I really hope that this follows the Lego game trend that within the year it's going to be 80% off, because I don't want to pay $70 for it. I won't lie, even though it looks like I'm more excited than I am most other $70 games. So maybe it can justify its price tag. I still don't want to pay that. And the deluxe edition is $90, which definitely steers me in the wrong direction. Now, they do include, a Joker and Harley Quinn playable DLC in the collector edition, which sounds awesome. But I also saw on the same post where I saw that the original Lego Batman, I was reminded, came with a villain mode where you played through the story basically from the villain's perspective for free, because that was back when games actually wanted to give you value for your money. But price aside, this looks super cool. Very excited for Lego Batman. This game looks way better than anybody would have ever imagined. All right, after that, we got a awesome trailer for the Diablo 4 Paladin. And mind you, I have not played Diablo 4. I have barely played Diablo 3 and haven't played any of the other Diablo games. So I am not a Diablo anything, okay? I need to finish 3 and then go back and play 2 Resurrected and all those things. However, I gotta hand it to him. Every trailer or in-game cutscene I have ever seen from Diablo, absolutely almost flawless. I mean, they are just gorgeous. They hit hard. They are super cool. There's literally a scene in this where he stabs through a demon's head and neck and then grabs him and pulls him through the sword that's planted in the ground. And all the other demons are like, bro, that was unnecessary. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want from a badass paladin. This is exactly what I want. They know what they're doing. And I don't know enough about Diablo, but I know Paladin is a hyped up class. And they also, I didn't know it adds 2 classes. That's super exciting. I know this much. Paladin is a super hyped up class, and the DLC doesn't release The new expansion will be released on April 28th. It doesn't release until April 28th, but if you pre-order it, you can play as Paladin now. And that's like, so you give the people what they want right now if they pre-order the whole expansion. I'm like, that's kind of smart. That's kind of smart. So super awesome trailer for that, man. I got to get into these games. They look so cool. That trailer is so cool. That is the most like badass thing I've seen in a trailer in a while. Definitely gives like DM describing D&D vibes, and that's kind of my whole schmuck. That's like my job. Or at least it was. It's not now, but it was, and I am so excited. So I need to actually get into these games, but that looked super cool. Then we got a quick look at the Street Fighter movie. I have never played Street Fighter. I have no desire to play Street Fighter. I am not into Street Fighter. I'm not into the movie. I will say the movie looked like it's taking more of a jokey, arcadey perspective, and I've heard that that's what Street Fighter fans want. So I hope it's everything that you ever wanted. They did bring out like all of the main actors in the movie, and it was very awkward, and it did not go great. I won't lie. I think that was a bad segment of the Game Awards. But hey, you know what? The trailer was fine. Then we got our second Star Wars announcement for the night, which nobody was really expecting to, and that is Star Wars Galactic Racer. Basically a pod racing game, but modern and super exciting, and we're actually going to get it sometime this century. And so yeah, it looks like it's going to be super cool. It looks like it's going to be fast-paced, pod racing action, intense, lots of destruction, everything that you want from a pod racing game. So I'm very excited for this. Pod racing is one of the coolest things in Star Wars. Don't at me if you don't believe that. You're just wrong, okay? But very excited to have a game that's dedicated to it, and what looked to be, based off of just a little bit of gameplay, a pretty good game. So very excited for that one. Phantom Blade Zero has a release date. I don't know like anything about this game, but it got a release date, and the trailer looked like it. That's really all I can tell you. I was not super excited for it, but I know there's a lot of big fans, and they wanted a release date, so there you go. September 9th. Pragmata, I don't know, gets a release date, demo, and will come to Nintendo Switch too. A lot of announcements around this. Now, Pragmata, or however you say it, has been in development for like 10 years. Every time I see this game, I just look confused. The girl looks so fake. I don't know how we're getting away with this in 2025, 2026. The gameplay doesn't look good. The story doesn't look that interesting. Like, I just don't have any draw to this game, and it feels like it needed to come out like 5 years ago. I don't know. It's just me. If you're excited for it, I'm super stoked for you. April 24th, you have a blast. But for me, Gang of Dragon was an interesting one. Yeah, they don't have the trailer here or picture, but it did look like a Yakuza game pretty much. I mean, it was basically just that inspired beat-em-up-y open world with some mini games. Like, it felt right. So, super happy for all the people excited for that. We did get a look, and by look, I mean cinematic trailer that didn't really tell us much, about a game called Warlock from Dungeons & Dragons as a new single-player RPG, right? And apparently in something they say it leans into expressive magic. Who knows what that means? But anyways, I'm here for more D&D games. Again, Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year, so that's super hype for D&D. And I know that they're trying to kind of push into other medias. They had the movie. Movie did really good. What did you think of the movie? D&D
it was
movie.
Good.
See, she really loved it. And that was before she had ever even played, or at least really played. And she plays Pathfinder, but still. Point being, huh?
I said that was when we still in Bethesda.
Mm-hmm. But, so she watched it before she really had any TTRPG experience. The movie did great. So I'm hoping video game can do great too, because the thing is that you can play this game knowing almost nothing about D&D, and if they structure it right, it's still going to be a great game. That's what Baldur's Gate was, right? You didn't have to know that Mordenkainen is an actual character. You didn't have to know that Volo is an actual character, et cetera, right? You were able to play that, and I haven't even played that game, or at least not fully. I've started it briefly, but it's a long game, okay? But point is, you don't have to know the D&D world to get into the game. Same thing here. I hope they do a good job with it. It looks interesting, character looks interesting, but also D&D's been known to throw these games, so I'm skeptical. It's not Larian, I'm skeptical. Not that you want Larian for a first-person single-player RPG. Forest 3 got announced. Now, I haven't played any of the Forest games, okay, but I've seen them, and this shit did not look like the Forest, okay? This was like sci-fi. She didn't have me, but she can confirm. I was guessing Subnautica 2, right? Like, I thought it looked just like the technology from Subnautica, so I don't know. But hey, Forge fans, get excited. And honestly, the first two did really good, so I imagine it's going to be good. They seem to know what they're doing in the survival horror genre, so I imagine it's going to be good, but it does seem like it's taking a bit of a sci-fi approach, so good for them. And then, oh, okay, so these are not in order. High Guard ended the Game Awards with a look at its new take on PvP. So High Guard is just that, a PvP like hero fighter shooter, and this is what they chose to end the Game Awards on. I will say a very brief, that was a horrible decision. It was like the worst game that they could have ended it on, because it really does feel like generic PvP hero shooter free to play with a bunch of cosmetic game. I'm not against those. I'm not saying those shouldn't exist, but I'm just saying they really probably aren't the big and here's the last thing announcement. That could have been 90% of what else we talked about, and I think people would have been a lot more satisfied. So no hate to High Guard, hate to the management of ordering these things. Whoever's job that was, they need to be fired or they need to get a different job. So I guess that's the same as being fired. Just saying. We did get a Total War game that's inspired by Warhammer. I don't know a ton about Warhammer or Total War, but what I do know about the two communities, this is just a match made in heaven, and I think you're going to have some friends that you just don't see for a while. And that's just, it is what it is, right? They've been asking for this for years. They're finally getting it. I do think it's interesting. I think they were asked if the Total War was going to be Warhammer, and they were like, no, it's not going to be Warhammer. And they were like, ha, joke's on you. It's not Warhammer. It's Warhammer 40K. And I'm like, okay, that was cute. But hey, you know what? I don't think there's any fan of either of these genres that's complaining they're getting this game. So I got to admit, it looked really cool. Total War, you're getting to like command armies all at the same time. As a strategy of anything fan, I'm excited because it looks strategical. And then you're commanding all these armies, and it just zooms out, and here's planets, and it's like the war stretches beyond the stars, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like levels to this. It's exciting. I'm excited. Am I gonna play it? Probably not. It'll go on the backlog, right? That's the reality of what's going on here. But yeah, I think they announced some new fighters for the Invincible fighting game. I don't know anything about Invincible and kind of forgot that this happened, but good for them. For Loop revealed. This one was hyped up a lot, and then I just don't really know what I was supposed to get out of the trailer. Like, it's this co-op game that's designed around dying and learning, and we've seen that before in, like, Deathloop, and then even, what's that one name? It's not... Outer Wilds, I think is the name. Yeah, Outer Wilds, that has the death loop, right? Super excited for that one. Haven't gotten through it, but I'll probably watch Ashley play it because she's more of a walking sim puzzly player than I am, and I can watch them way better than I can play them. But anyways, we've seen it a lot, and this one just didn't excite me, which it really should, because 4-player co-op like fighting things is kind of my bread and butter. Okay, it's like the zombies in a nutshell, right? So I should enjoy this, but I just didn't get a whole lot from it. But hey, it's coming. The Ascent did put out a game called, or is going to be putting out a game called No Law. It looks super great. It's like first-person cyberpunk, but what if it was made from a smaller developer, but looked pretty much just as good and had a badass main character that's a pretty beefy dude. Really excited for this. This looks really good. Typically, when you see this type of trailer and game, you're like on the wrong side of the law, and this is like, but what if you were that tough on the right side of the law? And I'm like, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. We did get Ace Combat 8 announced, so I haven't played Ace Combat 7, but I've only ever heard good things about it. If you're an Ace Combat person, I'm sure you're very excited for this, so Ace Combat 8 on its way. Wings of Thief, super exciting. You know, now that I'm going over this, I'm realizing just how much was announced. Like, this is a lot. This is a list right here. Anyways, we found out that, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz, who's a singer, right?
Yes.
Who's a singer, is going to be voicing the main villain for 007 First Light. Now, I know nothing about this dude, so I'm all on board for this. I've heard some skepticism online. I don't know enough about this guy, but good for him, right? I mean, the villain looks villainy. It's obviously themed after him, right? Because, I mean, we saw him. Unless he was dressed up to be the villain. No,
that's just Lenny Kravitz.
That's just Lenny Kravitz. All right, cool.
Just Lenny.
So, cool. I mean, not necessarily what I was expecting, but I'm not gonna question it until I see the performance. You know, plenty of people have gone from media forms and have done phenomenally. So I'm very excited for it. Marvel Rivals Season 6 does confirm Deadpool. I'm not a Marvel Rivals fan. I played a little bit of it with a friend, but Deadpool's awesome. So, hey, excited to get Deadpool. That sounds fun. Never going to complain about that. The Witness and Braid creator, right? Yeah, this was like the 1,000 puzzle game or whatever, right? A new 250-hour puzzle game. There are just some games that I'm like, wow, that looks interesting. Am I ever going to finish this? You know what I mean? And this just looks insane. It actually, like, the name of it, right? The name of it is Order of the Sinking Star. But they were talking about it the whole time. It literally has over 1,000 puzzles. And I don't think that's 1,000 puzzles that can be randomly generated. I think the game is straight up just 1,000 puzzles. Which is why, if each of those takes you, like, 10 to 15 minutes to solve, you're at 250 hours. So... well, I don't even know how you develop a game like this, but, good for them. I'm proud of that. All puzzle game fans rejoice. It looks super cool. Lords of the Fallen 2. Let me tell you, I haven't played Lords of the Fallen. It was not on my radar. I didn't say. Then, I think it was Summer Games Fest. We got our first trailer. I was like, this looks like my game. We got another trailer. It looks so good. The fighting in this game, the gore, it literally says dismemberment, lore, learnings of the sequel, right? Like, I'm so excited for this game. It looks so good. It looks so intense. You want to take everything I said about the Diablo trailer and put it into in-game footage. I was like, boss fights be looking like cinematics at this point. I am so excited for this game. It's crazy. Because I was literally talking to Ashley earlier about how, like, new games to me are still the games that came out in, like, 2017. Okay, so when I see something that's actually using all of the technology we have by 2025, I'm like, whoa, how does this even exist? Okay, this feels fake. I'm excited for it. She's judging me, but I'm excited for it. She's nodding. She wasn't. She was shaking her head, but I get to fake that because she's not on the camera. This one also looks great. Out of Words definitely seems like it's inspired by It Takes Two. But to be fair, a lot of co-op games have been inspired by It Takes Two since It Takes Two. However, the fact that this one's stop motion and like real stop motion is super exciting because stop motion is a really fun and hard to mimic like style of presentation. And it looks really cute. Like the fact that they can't talk, but then like you and the person you're playing with can talk, it looks really cute. I really want to play it. That one looks cute. Neo 3 gets an action-packed trailer. I've never played in the Neo games. I've heard they're great. I know they're Souls-like, but I've heard they're great. So, hype all of you Neo 3 fans. Oh, here we go. Mario plus Rabbids creator David Soliani announces a new platforming game called Bradley the Badger. Let me tell you, I didn't know I needed a fourth wall breaking Deadpool style Badger action platformer until I saw the trailer for this, guys. We're not playing it on this video, but go watch this trailer. Bradley the Badger came out of nowhere. Very excited for this game. Looks really fun, looks very creative, looks funny, looks enjoyable. And I like that it's, not only is it fourth wall breaking, that he's kind of like talking about being in a game and being able to control the game, which is like the whole part of the video game, it then references other games. So he's in like Cyberpunk 2077 and he's in like Bloodborne and all of these games. So see, there were fun nods to Bloodborne, Cyberpunk. Oh yeah, Last of Us there was a nod in there to it. So super excited for that. Stupid Never Dies was like a zombie hack and slash game where you're trying to like fight your way to your partner or something like that. I don't know. It looked weird. It had a weird trailer. I won't lie. The gameplay looked decent enough, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done a different trailer. The Free Shepherd is what kicked off the Game Awards, which is a super cute sheepdog herding game.
Yeah.
Ashley's super excited for this one. Worst news of the night is that it's not coming until 2027. Now, she showed me not long ago a co-op sheep herding game. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Because I feel like it is. I'm going to go find that.
This was announced, like world premiere announced at the Game Awards. And she showed me that before this got announced. So I don't know if there's like a co-op one and then this one coming out, or if that was this one and I'm mistaken. But an adorable game about a dog herding sheep called The Free Shepherd kicked off the Game Awards, but it's not coming out until 2027. What's else going on here? There's Coven of the Chicken Foot. This one looks really cute between like a granny and her weird like Studio Ghibli style monster, but it's very cute. I'm not into this type of game typically or art style. I gotta say this one started winning me over with their interactions. He like put a bucket on her head and like made fun of her for it. It was really cute. It was a really cute interaction. Like I don't know how to describe it. Just watch the trailer. It was very cute. Decrepit is a first-person Souls-like. I don't even remember this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was all over Lords of the Fallen 2. I don't remember this one, but hey, first-person Souls-like. We've got 1,000 of them. I hope it's good, but I'm not gonna like. I don't remember it. That's not a good sign, right? Guild Wars 2 is getting more DLC, or at least like an expansion. I guess it's probably not called DLC. Celeste 2 official early access release. I don't even remember this one either. I don't know what this is. I mean, it looks fine. It looks interesting, but like I said, I don't remember it. Orbitals was interesting. It was everything that you can pull from this image and watching the trailer. Warframe was getting a bunch of stuff, which is super cool. I got to tell Ashley what Warframe even was, because she was like, wait, all that's in a free-to-play game? I was like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Wuthering Waves got stuff, or is these like winners? I don't know. No, these are trailers still. This is a mobile game, if I'm not mistaken, so I know nothing about it. Hitman World of Assassination is Hitman being Hitman. Lost Skies, I don't remember this one. This looks cute, though. Like basically a walking sim, but it's a flying sim. Looks cute. Again, gameplay for a game that I know nothing about, but if this is your type of game, it probably looked good. I don't remember it looking bad, so there's that. Ontos was interesting. This one was creepy. This one was really creepy. It was doing the weird horror-y Remedies type game stuff. I don't remember this one either. Is this like a racing game? I feel like how did I miss all of these? I think this one was a fighting game. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing this one. Soulframe, I do remember seeing. This one was weird because it started out with an animal, and Ashley was all like, "Oh, that's cute," and then I was like, "The spider person." She was like, "No, not the spider person, the animal." So that one looked interesting, but again, very Souls-y. Battlefield RedSec. This one's been doing numbers. It's the Battlefield Battle Royale, so a lot of people are excited about that one. I haven't played it yet, but we got a good buddy, co-star of the channel, Austin. He really liked it, so say what you want about that. And it looks like that's the end of the page. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to be excited about. If I had to give it a rating, I would say that it was locking in a solid A and probably drop to a B just because of the ordering of things, because that was the most disappointing end to a game show or like a game announcement show I think I've ever seen. However, like I said, the core of it I think was still around an A. A lot of really big announcements, a lot of really exciting stuff, a lot of stuff that caught us off guard that was still pleasant to see. So I really liked it. I think they showed a lot of good gameplay. They got a lot of hype around it. They still spent time talking about the awards, which is important because it's not just an announcement night, even though that's kind of what we're all there for. And yeah, it was really lovely. I think they could have paced it better, but all things considered, lots of announcements to get excited for. 2026 does look like it's going to be a really strong year, going to be a really big year. And the good news is there is so much to look forward to before we even have to start talking about GTA 6. That's November. That's almost a year from now. Let's play all of these great games up until then. So that's what we have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment down below. Tell us what you think. Which games excite you? Which games didn't? Which ones do I have a horrible take on? And which weird, I'm going to say it, I'm sorry, weird anime game do I need to give a try because it's so much more than an anime game. I probably won't, but I will potentially, depending on what game it is, okay? Let us know down in the comments below. I really do want to branch out from some of the genres I'm very used to playing, and this is the perfect time to talk about which ones are actually really good. So, again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Any and all of it's greatly appreciated. We'll see you guys in whatever comes next, but until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.